Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be discussing with you my love for sock plushies or glove plushies or anything. Basically, for the longest I always thought sock plushies were the cutest thing. I think the first time I was introduced to them is when I was going through like plushie tutorials on YouTube, and I believe Budget Hobby and Macaroon, a lot of their earlier videos was about making sock plushies. Budget Hobby still makes sock plushies. It just, whenever she gets around to posting a video. But what is amazing is that you just use a simple fuzzy sock or even a regular sock that you just didn't want to use or whatever, or you just find them in a dollar store, and you make such adorable little stuffed animals out of them. And it's like the second cheapest material to work with, aside from felt, which I think is usually about 20 cents a sheet, at least in my area, while you could get all types of different socks for just $1 in a regular general store. And what I like is that depending on the size or the style of sock, you could pretty much get creative and come up with whatever you want. Like this, I say lamb chop because that's the face just kind of looks like the old puppet doll lamb chop. I don't know if anyone is still old enough to remember that, but yeah, this is actually made from a baby sock, a fuzzy baby sock. And this blue one, it was around the time when I really wanted to be a mom, and I saw these really cute fuzzy socks, and I was like, maybe I can make something out of them. Now, they ended up coming out completely different from each other, even though the socks were the same size, just different colors, obviously. But yeah, I like to think this is the older sister, while this is the baby brother. And with these guys, the little soot sprites, even though they're not made from sock material, you can easily make them the same way. This is actually made from a really curly faux fur that I had. It was like one of the first fabrics I ended up buying myself when I was getting into plush making, but I could not think of what to make. Like, I tried making a rabbit one time and it didn't look good, so I ended up thinking of making soot sprites out of them, and they're really cute. While this little guy is probably one of my favorite because he's actually made from a mitten, and I've yet to find black fuzzy mittens again, but he is a Heartless from the video game Kingdom Hearts, and I like him because he kind of has like a little ragdoll effect to him, because his head and body were made from like the palm of the mitten, while I believe the antennas were made from the thumb part, and the hands and feet were made from the finger parts, while his, I guess, arm and leg parts were just braided pieces of yarn that I sewed into the body and in the hands and feet. And the eyes are just sewn in felt pieces. So he's really small, really cute, and I just love having him by my sewing machine and seeing his little limbs dangle. This guy is a little, I guess, baby barn owl, and I love barn owls. I used to call them moonface owls, but a lot of people wouldn't know what I was talking about, but if you Google it, they do show up, so I still like to call them moon owls every once in a while. But barn owls, I don't know, they're my favorite owl ever out of all the species. I don't see enough barn owl plushies or figurines. I don't really see a lot of products based around barn owls, so If I could find them, that'll make me really happy. But this one in particular is in my shop. The other ones were not, but this one is. And I see I need to fix his little beak because it's getting a little crooked. I don't know why, but that's what happens when you have homemade items. Eventually they get a little wonky and you gotta fix them up every now and then. This one was actually a plushie I made for my son, and it's supposed to be a fox. I believe I made it around Valentine's Day because that's when his due date was gonna be. So I tried to hurry and make this as quickly as possible, and I had a beautiful deep red sock and some black socks and white socks, and I even tried putting safety eyes and nose on him, and it is really, really tricky to put safety eyes and noses in sock material just because of how big the holes or spaces are between the knitting. Like, it's really tricky. I think I had to glue it down at some point, yeah. And I need to secure the eyebrows. They're just a little go all over the place. I guess you could change the expression if you want, but yeah, I did my best. I think the tail's probably just a bit too big, but I think it's still really cute. It was one of my son's first plushies, and that makes me really happy. Another, I guess, well, not another, but yeah, another, I guess, downside to sock plushies is that they love lint and string and fur and anything else. And so it can get a little tricky to keep them clean if you don't have them on a nice high shelf, so keep that in mind. And for this one is actually a trade I had with a very sweet friend of mine. I call her Rai because her first username was Raichu Rebel, and I believe she goes by, I forget what she changed her thing to. It'll be somewhere on the screen at the end or in the description box below. Something Plum. Oh my goodness. I feel bad for not remembering. But she is the sweetest person ever, and she hasn't made plushies recently, but when I first met her, she made like the cutest little projects, and I had to do a little plush trade with her. I made her a sock plush of Luna from Sailor Moon, while she made me Cookie Cat, and I am just so in love with this plushie. It's like one of my favorites that I've ever gotten, and he's just so cute and perfect, and I love him. And I'm so happy he was also a first toy for my son, so that's a bonus. He's just, I don't know, he's like the perfect size for your hands. He's just so cute. I bring him everywhere with me if I can. I've even brought him to a few Comic Cons with me, so. These guys are kind of like the newest addition that are going to be added to my shop soon. I would like to make more because they're just so cute and so fluffy, and they're little plush-alpacas. And I made one before in a lighter pink. Actually, I think it was like closer to this pink here, and so many people liked that one. It made me so happy that I finally was like, you know what, let me make some more, because I'm pretty good at it. Attaching the eyes, kind of tricky just because they're small and make my fingers hurt sometimes, but the results are very cute, and even though I pretty much do the same steps, they all come out different. Like this one's neck looks thicker and longer somehow, even though they're pretty much the same size. I think this one's just slightly smaller, but he came out wider, and I don't know, I think I positioned the head lower. Yeah, I positioned the face a lot lower, and somehow the white part came out smaller than this one, even though they're cut the same size. But you know, I mean, that's what I like. Like, I could do the same thing, but somehow they all turn out different. And because he came out so different, I decided to even give him a different expression. So if you look close enough, without it blurring, he is a grumpy grump, and I love it. And he is just so cute. And I actually think I would want to try and do a tutorial of these Apopka guys if you're interested. I have this yellow sock and I think it'll look cute, like, I don't know, it'll look good with all three of them together. But, you know, I've never done a tutorial before, so it will take me a while to get it together. But, yeah, let me know if you guys are interested. And we'll see what I can do. For the last guy, I'm not really sure what I want to do with him yet. He is probably the second biggest sock plush I've made, and I'm actually very happy with the shape. It's supposed to be a cat. I do kind of think of Gumball. I don't know why, mainly because of the blue, I guess. But I do have his tail finished, I just need to attach it. And I can't figure out like his expression or like what kind of clothes he wants to wear. I do kind of think of like a fortune teller kind of character, but if you guys have any other suggestions to throw at me, you can also comment those down below. For now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.